Hi guys, welcome. Now we'll be looking at chapter 2, practice 1, alternate payroll. If you choose this exercise, well, click on it, enable editing, and let's see what this spreadsheet is all about. Basically, it's a little bit of payroll, guys, so it's good for you guys to know that way you know if they're paying you correctly or not. All right, so the labels, they look good. Maybe at least that will work on modifying it to show all the borders. Here we have to do the total, average, and range. I'll explain that one right now. Assumptions, the information we need to do this one is overtime rate. You get paid 1.5. The deduction per dependent, $50. And they're trying to withhold the federal income tax, 12%. Social and Medicare tax combined, they're taking away 7.65% of what you guys earn. Your employer puts the other half. Cool. And anything above 40 would be considered overtime. All right, so let's get started. What do we know? Different employees, how many dependents they have, and what's the hourly wage, how much money they're making in the hourly rate. So maybe that looks better as money. How many hours they work, that's cool. So let's start with the gross pay. Here, if we do a single formula, let me show you. You cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna multiply 48 hours times 8 hours they get paid. Why? Because you're not taking in mind the overtime. So what do you do then? Well, I'll pay him 40 hours and I'll put the log and pay out whatever they get paid plus overtime. So you're like, well, I'll subtract the hours they worked from 40. All right, you're getting there. And I will multiply that by whatever they get paid times the 1.5. All right, that looks a little bit more decent. However, this formula cannot also work because when they work below 40, you're paying them more money that they really didn't earn or actually paying less. So here, this is the hard part on Excel, where you have to do an if, a function. So if we go to formulas, logical, and so on, there's a lot of cool different areas, but you will find an if function. So what's your logic? If my employee worked 48, if 48 is more than the shift period, that's a greater than sign, more than 40, still need to put a log. What do I want to do? Well, I want to pay him 40 hours with a log at what they get paid. All right, cool. Plus, I want to get how many overtime hours they have. So the hours they worked minus the 40 with a log in parentheses, I want to do that first, times whatever they get paid, times the overtime rate. Pretty much the formula we did right now. The only difference that now, if it's false, if they work below 40, if they work 35 hours, 25, whatever, I will pay the hours they worked at what they get paid. Looks weird, but believe me or not, this formula will work. Cool? Want to try it? This is one of the exercises for you guys. They start escalating. Taxable income. So here, my formula, I need to subtract that amount, my gross pay, from the number of dependents he or she has times $50. And that's it. Just put a log there. The if, it only comes in handy when you have more than two options to do. Here, it's a single formula. Just do it. Now, let's assume Yanis had 6 children, 6 dependents. Taxable income negative 70, that looks kind of weird. So maybe I want to combine the formula, a max function, to do what we just did, or zero to combine. What's maximum? Put the maximum value of the formula we did, or a zero. Why a zero? Because if we run into negative numbers, it wouldn't matter. It will just put a half, a dash, a hyphen, which represents a zero. So if they have 200 dependents, you see it wouldn't matter. It's just going to go back and say, I'll just put a zero. Cool. So you want to get creative with Excel. Withholding tax is basically my taxable income multiplied at the 12% tax rate. I want to put a log to it so it won't move. And that's it for that formula. My Social Security, I would want to get the gross income. The government doesn't care if you have dependents or don't. At 7.65%, put the log so it will move. And that's it for that formula. And net pay basically will make your subtraction. What you made, gross pay, not the taxable, minus the withholding, minus the social, minus union fees, and so on, etc. In this case, that's it. Grab your formula and pull it down. Cool. Totals, well, just the outer sum. We could always add it there. I could turn it to home, sum, that's it. Average, you click on it, average, just make sure you select the right cells. And range, for some weird reason, there's no formula of range, but you do. It's the maximum minus the minimum. It's the highest value subtracted from the smallest value. So I select the max of that minus, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put the min. It won't work, guys. For some weird reason, Excel will only help you with the first function. So what do? You type it up, min, open parentheses, and start selecting which cells should be included. Close your parentheses, and voila, there you have it. You did a little bit of payroll. Cool. If you want to round numbers, 1 decimal, 2 decimals, so you don't have too many. Cool. So get creative and play with it, guys. And there's a lot of cool things we could do. All right, guys, take care. Goodbye.